This is a Variety Sports Network production. Now to your host.
Well, hello there. Welcome to another edition of the seventh inning.
Stretch.
Hey, he did it. And it was a nice one, too. I'm your host, Logan Stone, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Josh Eduardos. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm here. I'm tired. But we're going to rock and roll.
Yep. And then with us is our special guest. Really not a special guest anymore. He's just a regular, from our sister best friend company, Talking Sports with It and Driving to the Top. Is it Driving to the Top?
Yes, Driving to the Top Productions, sir.
Driving to the Top Productions.
How long has he been trying to get that right and he still messes it up almost every time?
I was close.
That's all right. You know, at least you're thinking about it.
He says it with a question. Is it Driving to the Top?
I thought it was like, yeah. Anyways,
driving to the top in one of the websites because that's the one we had to use because of the wording.
Yeah.
So it's Jason might be stopping in too. I just got back from him.
Yeah, that's fine. I sent
him. Does he have the link? I meant to ask you.
He should.
Okay.
You should have it.
All right. So pay attention to that one at the bottom of your screen, boys.
Yep. So, we have a lot of divisional series recaps we need to do. The Yankee Series just ended. That kind of pisses me off, honestly. Just because now
Tell me all about it. Tell me all about
it. They got to turn around and play the Astros tomorrow because of this whole weird schedule thing. Anyways, we'll get into the Yankee Series. We'll get into the Astros Series in a second. Everybody doing okay? How did we feel about this divisional series round? Your mind, yeah. The title is true. We really do suck at predictions, honestly.
We should change our name to the KO Death Pick Show.
I know we talked about if the Phillies got hot, they could take it 5.
Yeah.
But the Phillies got hot and took it in 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone called that except for Ryan, which he's probably enjoying the game right now. I don't know the score or anything, but
I don't know if he's enjoying it. I mean, 0-0 in the bottom of the second.
He didn't.
Yeah, but he's still playing, so he's better than us.
Yeah, he didn't even think that the Phillies were going to make it out of the divisional series, so he's fine right now.
That Mookie Betts curse, Logan, you told us all about it.
Let me tell you, I'll get into the Mookie Betts.
But if Jason joined, let's wait and see if Jason pokes in, and then we'll get his thoughts on that series out of that.
I texted him about it. He was pissed off about it. He was like, thanks for giving that to me, because he's.
I think we were both involved in that conversation, were we not?
No, I had
curses.
Oh yeah, I had a different conversation with him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And so, anyways, but let's get right into it because, let's talk about this Phillies-Braves series. Phillies taking them 4. They win game 1, lose game 2. Game 1 was a real big game changer, honestly. Like, in game 1, I think they annihilated the Braves. And then you I started thinking, I was like, is there a world where the Phillies could take this series? And they did, honestly. And the Braves never really gave them much of a fight. I mean, obviously they won it game 2, but other than that, it was complete and utter dominance. The last 2 games were just, it was over in like the 3rd or 4th inning. So, Adam, what do you think about this Phillies series? Is it more of a Phillies win or a Braves loss? And I think you know what I mean by that, right?
You're talking about the week off they had.
Yeah.
Maybe no playing. The Phillies were swinging a hot. They were starting to look better. They were swinging the bat. They were shocked. They looked like they were coming alive a little bit. They played that 1:00 game, and it just was like, when I looked at the score, I just text Ryan right away, and I go, "Are you like losing your shit right now?" Because they were winning, and he's like, "I don't know what to do." But then I joked with them. I guess Hoskins been listening to you on these podcasts.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Because
because Reese Hoskins,
that bat came alive.
I mean, he belted that one home run, and I texted him. I said, I think he spent more time on that bat throw, on slamming the bat on the ground, than he did actually practicing hitting the home run. Good Lord. But I mean, hey, listen, they just turned into like the most dangerous team though, because they went from the team that barely made it into the playoffs to, okay, we're here for real. We're hot at the right time. And I'm actually really excited about this Phillies Padres series, which we'll talk about in a minute. Josh, what did you think about this series?
When we had Ryan on last week, and he didn't think anything was going to happen, we all kind of thought if the Phillies could survive and get one in Atlanta, there was a chance. You know, with Nola and Wheeler pitching the way they've been pitching, this postseason, which isn't very long, but what they've shown so far in the postseason with the way they shut down the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could continue that on, they were going to be okay on the pitching side of things. And the question was the bats. Now, the Phillies are the most offensively productive team right now in the postseason, which that's the part that blows my mind. They're just doing it better than everybody else right now. They got hot at the right time. We've seen this before multiple times. A wild card team comes in, they get hot at the right time, and they stay hot long enough to make a run. My question now is, are we going to see Phillies-Yankees perhaps for a rematch of the 2009 World Series? That could happen. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you, but this has already been a wild postseason in baseball. We've been wrong almost every step of the freaking way. So I'm not going to say I'd be surprised if I end up seeing these two teams in it. But no, the Phillies, they've got hot at the right time. Can the Padres slow them down? Do the Padres have enough pitching to take the bats down? But the Braves just choked. This was a Phillies win. The Phillies came out and got the job done, in my opinion. I don't think it was anything but that. But the Phillies playing good ball at the right time, playing together as a team, and it was a good series for Philly. And I'm okay with it. I mean, a little shocked, but not completely surprised.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord. I mean, Bryce Harper came alive. I mean, in the Cardinal series, he went like 0 for 16 or something. And he was doing he had like a 175 batting average in the last, ever since he came off the IL in the regular season. And, you know, we heard Ryan talk about, you know, like Bryce Harper couldn't hit a beach ball, honestly. And, I mean, Reese Hoskins was doing terrible too. JT Realmuto was kind of holding that team together. Nick Castellanos, he's turned into like an MVP all of a sudden, postseason MVP for the Phillies. And then the pitching, Zach Wheeler doing what he gets paid to do, and Aaron Nola being great. Even Ranger Suarez. I mean, Ryan was worried about Ranger Suarez, honestly, and then he kind of came to play. He held the Braves down. So good job on the Phillies. They're hot at the right time, like I said. I do want to ask, like, do we think that the Braves taking the week off, honestly, like we said, but also having so many rookies being starters, like Vaughn Grisham, Harris II, a lot of these other guys. Who is him? Anyways,
Max Fried. I know he's not a rookie, but
yeah, I mean, Max Fried I think he did pretty well. No, he got rocked around in game 1, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think a lot of those guys who had never really experienced postseason play, kind of just fell off. Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me?
I mean, not playing against anyone for a week and taking a week off. I mean, if these guys are smart, they would watch how this new system goes And even if they have to, maybe align something with like a community college to play a game just to keep it, keep the guys active.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
even
kind of
like
what I think. I think it's a failure on management side, if you want to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's not like they're in a. I'm going to say this. I know I'm going to get a little hate for it. So I'm
Always.
prepared. It's not like they play a contact sport. So they really don't need a week's rest to rehab the bodies. Yes, there's strain on the shoulders and the elbows and the knees. I understand that. But they're not getting beat up like in football or in hockey day in and day out. I mean, look at football now. I mean, that's part of the reason they get injured because they take so much time off and they rest. That's why somebody's always getting injured in football. But in baseball, I mean, I like the point. At community college, maybe even bring up your AAA team and play a couple games against them in the off week. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is poor management getting ready for the off season. And that goes towards the Braves and towards the Dodgers management staff.
Does anyone know if there's any rules about bringing in another team and playing a scrimmage?
Now that I don't know.
think no, not as long as they're not in the playoff roster.
But
I think it's
you
fine.
can bring up your minor leaguers though, because they're part of the system. I mean, it's not like you're playing an outside source.
I think the only thing
call it a practice.
Yeah.
I mean,
they is AAA still playing their World Series stuff or
technically, yeah. Well, at least they were last week.
Yeah. So, but let's see. I am him. Beltran for Wheeler on 2011, coming back to haunt the Giants. Let's be honest. The Giants were never going to re-sign Wheeler back in the day, so
Sure.
They weren't going to give him any money. So yeah, let's move on to the next series. I'm not going to talk about the Dodger series yet, just because Jason may be coming on, and I want to hear him bitch and moan about it because he was pissed off. I mean, he wants everybody's head. So let's talk about the Astros and Mariners series. Astros sweep. First game, Mariners looked like they were going to take game one, make it an interesting series at least, and then Yordan Alvarez, your daddy, he came in and he hit a walk-off 3-run blast. I think the person who caught that ball caught it with his face and probably died because that was a bullet. Honestly, good Lord. I mean, I was right next to my dad and I went, "Oh my God." And he was like, What? I showed him. He was like, "Oh, wow. That was gone in a hurry." Anyways, but game one ended with really fun. And then Yordan came back in game two and hit a go-ahead home run. And then game three lasted 1,000 years, honestly. Made me really regret not, like, I think everyone was like, okay, we're okay with the Manfred rule of having a runner on second now.
No,
I'm not. I like original baseball.
That was great baseball.
I mean,
I don't think that was, though. I think that was so boring right there. Like, I like pitching matchups, and I like it when but it just didn't seem like clean baseball, honestly. It seemed just like a whole bunch of laziness, in my opinion, in game three.
I mean, I'm not gonna say lazy.
My computer might shut down, boys. I'm just letting you
Okay.
fucking know. So
Well,
I'm
then
gonna
you can
jump on
come
my.
back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to jump on my phone. It says it has a restart in 14 minutes.
Oh, hey, mine's done that before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't schedule this.
You might be able to delay it. I might give you that option if you.
It didn't give me an option. Like it said,
Oh, then it's gonna
restart or close.
Anyways.
So if I get kicked off, I will log back on. Just giving everyone a warning.
But no, I mean, I love. I mean, it was dramatic. I mean, yeah, it was a little slow, but it's because nobody was getting hits. I mean, when do you see pitcher after pitcher after pitcher from each team duel it out? Like that's something most of us don't ever get to see. That was fantastic, and it showed that the young Seattle team had the heart to continue fighting against improbable odds against what we all know is a better team. And it was good for baseball. It showed that there's competitiveness amongst the ranks. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I picked Seattle to win it because I picked Seattle to be the winners, and I gave them a KOD, and I know who I'm picking for the next round. Let's put it that way.
I feel like I had them sweeping, but
you
I
did have
don't.
them sweeping. That's the only
Did I
thing
have them?
you got right. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just getting this thing ready in case this
Yeah.
thing really does shut down.
Because I thought I had the Yankees, but I want to say this. Honestly, I think that 18-inning game is going to help the Astros in the long run. Because guess what? All their pitchers are tired. They pretty much used all their pitchers, and they swept early, or they swept the Mariners. So they're no longer having to worry about anything, honestly. Like, all their guys are pretty much going to be well rested enough and not rusty going into this Yankee series tomorrow. Whereas it's going to be the opposite thing for the Yankees tomorrow.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So good job on the Astros. Yeah, that was well dominated. The Mariners are dumb for pitching to Yordan Alvarez. After the second time, that was stupid. So, anyways, anybody else have any extra thoughts on this Mariners Astros series before we move on?
Disappointing
Mariners-
end. I think we're going to go ahead.
I was going to say the Mariners are young, and that's the thing about a lot of these teams right now. They're all very young, and they're all getting a lot of experience. So they're going to be something to reckon with a little bit next year. The Mariners are going to be there. And I don't think anyone said that for a while. So
I'm going to piggyback on that. I think this just shows what the Mariners are
I'm
going to be
excited
down the
about this
road.
Mariners team next year.
I think they're going to be an excellent team. You're good. I think that Mariners are going to have something to show for many years to come, as long as their managerial and their ownership handles the roster correctly, takes good care of their players. Seattle fans should be excited for at least the next couple of years for what their team could do.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
completely agree with that.
Yeah, my thing started lagging for a second again. Okay, let's do the. Let's see. You want to do I guess we'll do the Yankee series next. Yankees just finished this after what's up, Natalie? Yankees and Guardians don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
Game 5. They just finished that today. Yankees went and won Game 5. Good job. That was horrible, honestly, to have 2 postponements, and now they're having to play tomorrow. What do you guys think of? Why?
Yeah, why? They got 2 extra days of rest. They didn't have to work tonight. They won 5-1.
Why was Bieber not the starter today?
Because they're stupid.
So mad. I wasn't mad, but I was just frustrated.
I don't know. Who started tonight?
It's, Aaron Savell gave
got
up that
pulled
3-run.
In the first inning.
Gave up that 3-run bomb to.
Oh yeah,
Gino.
Stan. Yeah, that's
Struck
right.
out Judge. Walked, so got it. There was a hit, a walk, and then he hit a batter, and then or something along those, or walked and hit a batter or something.
And then Stanton
And
just
give him a 3-run
bombed it.
shot.
Yeah, Stan's really good. That was a good series, I think. It went back and forth. Yankees and Guardians. Oh gosh, not Bader. You guys are distracting me right now.
Harrison Bader was like 2 for 18 or something.
And he's leading the AL in home runs in the postseason.
Judge finally hit one today.
Yeah. No, it's his second of the series, so that's good. He hit one the other day in that loss, but I wonder if that's going to hurt him a little bit. I know that they got 2 extra days of rest technically, but they had to get ready and then kind of mentally prepare twice, but didn't seem to affect him. So, anyways, anybody have any thoughts on this?
Cleveland is locked up with a closer for 5 years and a third baseman for a couple years. They do have a decent outfield for the next couple years as well with Klon and Gonzalez. Owen Miller going to be all right. Like I said, like we just said about this Mariners team, the Indians are a very young team. And this is a great growing
The
experience.
Guardians, you son of a bitch.
Whatever.
Now that'll always be the Indians to us.
So I feel that you fucking ruined my train of thought.
I'm sorry. You didn't have a train of thought.
No, probably not. Anyway. Shit, now I'm snorting. Anyway, like I said, just like we just said about this Mariners team, they are young, so they're no one expected them to win the Central. No one. Did you guys? Any of you guys? I don't even.
Not at the beginning of the year.
I mean, after watching those first two games where they put up one run in the first two games against Kansas City, everyone was going, "Oh shit!" And then they come out that Sunday and they drop 17, and Quan goes 5 for 5, and everyone's running to their fantasy lineups, going, "Grab him!"
Yeah.
And
I like him.
And then they go 28-8 down the stretch to lock the division. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to for this Cleveland team. I'm excited about it. They'll be back next year. Just a good learning experience. This will teach them how to lock up games and not let it get to a game 5 back in the opponent's yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is very much like Seattle for me. Young team, lots of talent. They're learning to win together. This loss is only going to make them stronger in the long run. And Cleveland's probably got a pretty good base. I don't think anybody else in the Centrals. I mean, we'll see what the offseason brings. MLB offseason is always kind of crazy. So we'll see if any other teams in the Central make a run. The White Sox make any jumps. Or we know the Royals are going to be in a complete rebuild. We know Detroit's going to be Detroit at this point. So it should be Cleveland's for the taking next year, barring nothing crazy happening. So, yeah, Cleveland should be a good team for the next couple of years, and they should be able to make the playoffs the next couple of years. And who knows, maybe they can make another run.
But, I mean, Cleveland did shut down Aaron Judge until today.
Yeah.
Until today.
They were able to pitch around him. That was kind of the thing was.
Well, he was 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts.
Yeah.
At one point in this series, I heard a crazy stat today that they only had 16 hits, but 9 of them were home runs.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it wasn't like Harrison Bader hit three home runs, and I mean, good Lord, he doesn't hit
this
much.
This is the guy you hate most of all in the MLB right now.
Yeah, I do. All my Yankee friends are like, "Oh man, I really like this Harrison Bader guy." I'm like, "Listen, you wait till he dives on an unnecessary fly ball, and then he breaks a leg and he's out for like 3 months."
4 minutes, guys. I'm gonna. It's really gonna shut down. But I got my little laptop up, so I don't know how good the sound is on it or anything. But this is what I run during the games. So.
Oh gosh, no, I'm not even mentioning that.
What?
In the chat. No. But anyways, so yeah, good job, Yankees. It's going to be interesting to see a well-rested Astros versus a maybe a little bit tired Yankees. So there's that. Let's move on. Okay. Dodgers and Padres. We went in thinking the Dodgers were going to annihilate the Padres. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk about this. Did anyone have a problem with Bob Costas announcing the games?
I listened on XML. I had the Cleveland Guardians radio on in my car.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Bob Costas is a gift to sports radio, so if anybody has a problem with him calling games, they can shove it in their pipe and smoke it.
That's a little weak there, Josh. Kidding.
I try to keep it family. I mean, family friendly.
Shit. stick it up your ass and lick it. I don't know.
Stick it where the sun don't shine, son.
Yeah. And how old do you know? Or do you know how old Adam is? He's in his 40s. That's why he said, "Stick it where the sun don't shine, son."
I just got told I'm old because I use Facebook.
Really? Okay. Anyways, I saw a lot of Yankee
These
fans.
young kids, I
complain-
guess they use Snapchat and whatever else.
Get on the Snap and the IG.
I have it for driving to the top, so am I hip now?
No. Everybody hip now, boy.
Oh,
But anyways,
shit.
all these Yankee fans were complaining about Bob Costas being biased and talking about history. I'm like, I like history. I like baseball history. He's been around the game for 50 years, honestly. So
Tell Brandon,
obviously-
let's collab, dude. I'm in, Brandon. He just asked me a
Oh.
question.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We got to talk ice hockey soon. It's already started.
Oh God, already. It's only been 26 minutes in.
What
Okay.
now, dipshit?
I know, but you've
We're
already
talking
mentioned
baseball.
it. I know.
I do have my computer ready for when this thing shuts down. It's already logged on to the StreamYard. I'm not sitting in the back yet, though.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll keep an eye out for you. But
Unless you want two of my mugs on his face.
yes.
No, one is more than enough.
Double penetration. Anyways,
Favorite thing, Logie.
Dodgers and Padres. Dodgers came out and annihilated the Padres, and we were like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, maybe they started off annihilating, but then they came back right a little, right? Oh, son of a bitch. Padres came back in the game one, right? A little bit.
I think so.
Anyways, doesn't matter because the Padres came back and won the next three. Duck the Dodgers. All the right in the MLB.
I think it did meant the right
all-
fuck.
Fuck the Dodgers. All is right in the MLB. Okay. I am.
Man, we really need Jason for that one right there. Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I
wish
agree with
Jason
I
was-
am him.
It's disappointing.
For
The
sure.
Pod-
You know MLB wanted the Dodgers.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and honestly, Dave Roberts said at the beginning of the year, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series.
I got a live
in
update real
2022.
quick. Sorry to interrupt. Bryce Harper just hit
Go
a
ahead.
home run to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead in the top of the fourth with one out.
Nice. Go Phillies, honestly. But
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
having
also-
trouble rooting for these Padres. I really am.
well, the thing is I really like the fans. Like they were. I mean, I tweeted out on what was it? Whenever they won it all, when they won in Game 4, that the fans really turned me. They made me a fan, honestly. Like they were. I mean, they're rock. Like they rock out to the Padres, honestly, down there. And I think Adam's out. But I think this is more of a Dodgers thing. Like, what the fuck happened to the Dodgers?
I told you my fucking screen.
No, he asked about the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Well, the Dodgers did what the Dodgers were going to do. They were having issues at the end of the season anyways. They've been off for a week. They didn't prep during that week of being off. They did what Dodgers do, and Dodgers like to joke because that's what LA teams do. Because LA sucks.
Can you guys even hear me?
Yeah. You're much crisper and clearer now, too.
Oh, that's fucking awkward. I'm on a notebook from like 1996.
I know. Whoa.
No, that's a little close, huh?
Logan just dipped out, man. He was just like, see ya.
I'm
Oh,
here.
now he's back. That cheese ball.
So the Dodgers choked.
I think the Dodgers choked, but I think the Padres went in there and took the series at the same time.
What the fuck ever happened to this guy?
Whew. You got too much light. I can't see it.
Jim Tomey? Oh, Jim.
Jason Jennings. a pretty bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's broken. That's why I have it.
It's broken. That's why I have it.
Sometimes when you worked at the stadium, they would just throw them out for fun.
No, I think the Padres went out and won that series, but I think the Dodgers, I'm happy to see the Dodgers lose. I ain't gonna lie. I'm so happy to see the
I
Dodgers
am
lose.
here. We used to have a shirt in Pittsburgh that said "Muck the Fets," so that apparently that's been going on for a while. Like that was an actual shirt. It said "Muck the Fets." It was one of the best shirts ever.
I love it.
It was back in the 90s, whenever the Pirates had a little rivalry with them. Whenever the Pirates were actually good.
Yeah, it's only been 30 years for you guys. You had a couple good years in the 2010s.
We did, but nothing like the 90s.
And your ownership screwed it up.
Yeah. So like
Bob Nutjob.
Well, like the thing with the Dodgers is like, I mean, they had such a great, massive talent. So it's not like the talent wasn't there. I honestly, and I think
Jason went on fucking Kimmel.
He did go on Kimmel, which is stupid. Stupid. He went 2 for 18 because he went on Kimmel when he should have been at home practicing. Good Lord. I don't understand why people did that. Or people think that that's a good idea. The other thing is I think Dave Roberts kind of went and micromanaged the team. I mean, for some reason he had Tony Gonsolin.
What's wrong with that?
In game 3, I think it was. He had him in for like 2 innings, and then he took him out, and then he replaced him with a whole bunch of. Speaking of the devil, good. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking right now because Jason is in the house.
We were just talking about your team, Dippy. Hey,
The Dodgers suck.
what's happening, Jay?
Hey! Listen, Jason was not mean to us. Whenever we went through the most embarrassing sweep I've ever seen in my fucking life. So we're going to send this same exact courtesy, Josh, to Jason and his team. First of all, Jason, I am sorry about your team. However, please continue with. Please go and talk about the Dodgers.
Oh, Logan, where do I begin? Holy shit.
Well, I was talking about Dave Roberts right there. So.
Oh, wow, what a shit show that is. Okay, well, listen. I seem to recall the last time I was on your show about having some slight misgivings, but I also seem to recall that the team I preferred to play in the postseason was San Diego. Too late for me to take all that shit back, so here's how it is. I've had a lot of time to ruminate over their early postseason exit. And after further thought, I'm just simply going to say that the Dodgers are a victim of their own success. What I mean by that is this is a ball club that lives and dies by analytics. Andrew Friedman spits out numbers from his laptop computer left and right, seemingly on a second-by-second basis. Dave Roberts constructs that lineup with those numbers, does not give any thought whatsoever to the strategy that's on the field. And I've read a number of credible Dodger blogs over the last couple of days since all of this ended. And they've all pretty much agreed that when Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts sit down and talk strategy, it's about what the lineup will look like days before, not the day of. And I also seem to recall opining about how I was not too convinced about the Dodgers pitching. It was great for them during the regular season, but they had nobody in that starting rotation that could come in and shut the door down. Now, I realize it was not a high-scoring series. I realize San Diego had their problems scoring too. Actually, and you know what? The Dodger pitching, to their credit, they did what they had to do. The bullpen did what it had to do. They lost that series because of the offense. Hitting coach Rob Van Scoyoc, I hope you are listening to me, Mr. fucking genius. They lost that series because the offense decided not to show up. There was no fire in that locker room, in that clubhouse, in that dugout. And I'm sorry, but you do not take a relief pitcher out of the game with a 1-2 count and bring in a guy who's only thrown 1 or 2 warm-up pitches and ask him to get that final out and then any subsequent outs that follow thereafter. And why the hell did Dave Roberts yank Tyler Anderson, who was shutting San Diego down at that point? Anderson even admitted post-game he could have thrown 135 pitches if he needed to. That's how fresh he was. And let's talk about all these reinforcements that the Dodgers got back at the end of August, beginning of September. All the guys that they said were going to help them. Brusdar Graterol, non-existent. Blake Trinan, non-existent. Let's see. The other guys are non-existent. I've forgotten about them now. Chris Martin, who was locked down for them. In fact, other than Evan Phillips, Chris Martin was their most effective reliever. Your three effective relievers were Yency Almani, Chris Martin, and Evan Phillips. Chris Martin barely made a dent in that series because of Dave Roberts' shitty bullpen management. That series was constructed based on analytics. And guys, I'm not saying analytics played the entire part in them losing. Watching that series, I also saw there was just no emotion. The three big guys that they paid to bring emotion to that ball club, these guys were quieter than Marcel Marceau in a fucking jazz club. All right? There was nothing there to them. So let me just begin to say this. I am not going to applaud the Dodgers for their 111 victories on the season because it was a failure. It was a failure. They should have at least gotten to the World Series, and they didn't get there because of analytics, lack of emotion, and a manager who has about the same amount of gusto and inner fire as Mayberry RFD. Andy Griffith, oh boy, guys, let's go. Let's win the game. Come on, let's go. And Rob Van Scoyoc, the hitting coach, yeah, they may have been the best offensive team in baseball in the regular season, but Rob Van Scoyoc, all he was doing that entire series, flipping a toothpick around in his mouth. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're the Dodgers. We're good. We got Mookie. We got Freddie. We're good. That's all I really got to say about that.
You know what? I applaud that. I absolutely applaud that because you sound about as mad as I did when the Cardinals got bounced.
Well, listen to me. Listen here for a minute, okay? I get very, very passionate about the Dodgers because I have loved them ever since I was a kid. And sometimes that passion flows out of my cuppeth and takes control of me. But I'm also looking at this from an opinionated point of view and an objective point of view as well. And you know what? Everything that columnists like Bill Plaschke and Bill Plunkett and Dylan Hernandez wrote in the coming days, I agree 110%. The biggest thing that needs to change with the Dodgers and the reason why they lost again is the philosophy, how the organization is run from upstairs to downstairs. The philosophy has to change. Now, I will say this, guys, for those of us fans who are calling for Dave Roberts to lose his job, it's not going to happen because they're bringing him back for the first year of a new 3-year deal he re-upped before the lockout back in the preseason. So he's going to be back for another year at least. But if they're going to talk about firing Dave Roberts, they also have to talk about firing Andrew Friedman. Because even though Brandon Gomes is the general manager, he might as well be a silent partner in a Wall Street firm. We all know Andy Friedman is still calling all the shots. And if you're going to fire Dave, you better as well fire Andy Friedman because he sat back at the trade deadline, rested on his laurels, and counted on the oft-injured Tony Gonsolin and the unproven Tyler Anderson and the oft-injured great Clayton Kershaw to carry them through October. And it obviously didn't work. This is a situation where Andy outthought himself. It came back to bite him in the butt. So I actually agree with him bringing Dave Roberts back. But if you're going to fire one, you got to fire the other.
That's odd. It's odd hearing the same thing from a Dodgers fan as a Cardinals fan, honestly. Like, replace Andrew Friedman with John Mozeliak and Dave Roberts with Ollie Marmol. And it's just like, oh, my gosh.
Well,
anyways.
Well, and Logan, look, all right. I'm trying to view this with a glasses half full perspective too. Okay? This has been the greatest run of success in the history of LA Dodgers baseball. All right, they have never won, at least not to my knowledge, 9 division titles in 10 years. They've been to the World Series 3 out of the last 6 years. And even though people want to say 2020 was an aberration, it's still a trophy in their case, regardless of what anybody has to say. But with that being said, Andrew Friedman's model is built for regular season dominance. It's not built for October dominance. All right. Yeah. And it fits into their whole theme of building a sustainable program that will last not only in the short term, but in the long term. The problem is that long term is starting to run out, and that roster is going to overgo a major facelift in the offseason. Justin Turner's going to be gone. Cody Bellinger sure as fuck better be gone. If he's not gone, I'm gonna piss Dodger blue urine. So Turner's going to be gone. Bellinger's going to be gone. Kershaw might be gone, and if he isn't, he'll probably go back home and pitch with the Texas Rangers. I don't see them bringing Chris Taylor back. They might trade him in the middle of a 4-year deal. There's going to be a lot of changes on that roster from all the supporting players they've had over the years. Off-season is going to be a lot more stressful than the regular season.
Yeah.
Do you think Trey Turner will be back?
No, Trey's gone. No, I don't think they bring him back. I don't think he wants to come back. He lives in Florida in the offseason. He's openly stated that he wants to go back on the East Coast to be closer to home where he trains in Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies get him, especially if they still have. Yeah, right. I know you've heard that rumor too, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Red Sox lose Xander Bogaerts if they replace Xander with Trey Turner also. So I think Trey Turner going to Boston makes sense, especially since the Red Sox train in Bradenton, Florida, I think. So either way, though, I think Trey's gone. If they wanted him back, guys, they would have signed him to an extension a long time ago. Yeah, that tells me that they just viewed him as a season and a half rental, which is what they got.
Is it Gavin Lux that they're looking at the replacement for?
They better be, because Lux's time has come and gone. Yeah. And look, he was once a highly heralded prospect in that organization, a can't-miss prospect. But with Gavin Lux, he's going to have more cold streaks than he's going to have hot streaks. He's a kid that has talent. He just can't keep his head in the game at all times. So I think Lux could be gone. But again, it all depends on how the rest of their impending free agents stack up, and it depends on who they target in free agency. If they're going to go after somebody like Xander Bogaerts and make a full court press on him, Xander could play shortstop. But if they feel like they need more help at second base and more production, they could replace Lux and go after somebody else and then trade him to whoever. And actually, when you guys look at Gavin Lux's numbers, he really had a fairly solid bounce-back offensive season. He batted over 280, 290, I think. Didn't have much in the power department, but he started to show some of his potential towards the end of the season. So either way, he's 50-50 on whether he's a Dodger next year.
Do you think they go after Devers?
Oh, boy, Adam, that's a really good question. I think they go after him, but only at their price. I don't think they're going to be willing to overspend, because they've actually spent the last 4 or 5 years stacking up all these contracts with a lot of deferred money so they can get under that luxury tax threshold, and so they can lower their team payroll. And you know that Devers and his agent aren't going to ask for anything less than $250 million. And if they do, they're sick in the head. Yeah. So if they make it,
they'll get it.
Yeah, if they make a push for Devers, it's going to have to be at Andy's price, not Scott Boris's price or whoever represents him.
Yeah.
I think he is a Boris product.
Let me ask you this, because you just mentioned the 2020 World Series. As a Dodger fan, you have 10 years of being probably the most dominant team in the regular season.
Yeah.
And the only thing you have to show for it is one World Series in a shortened year.
Yeah.
Can I like another, dominant year where you're probably one of the best teams on paper, probably, because you had Freddie Freeman, top 3 first baseman. Max Muncy last year was a top 5 MVP candidate, who, even though he didn't, fully perform this year. And then Trey Turner, great shortstop, top 2, probably best shortstop ever, honestly. Mookie Betts, great.
Goes on
Chris
Kimmel and
Taylor,
fucks up the whole playoffs.
Probably the best utility guy, honestly. So as a Dodger fan, does that kind of discourage you and like kind of diminish the worth of the 2020 World Series to you in any way? Or does it kind of say, or are you just like, okay, it happened?
Logan, I think they needed to validate 2020 and their greatness by winning the whole thing this year. Mm-hmm. And they made it clear from day one, whether it was going on talk shows, whether it was going on Dan Patrick's show, that they were going to win they were going to win the whole enchilada. Well, obviously it didn't happen. The thing about 2020 is everyone wants to call it a Mickey Mouse championship. Everyone wants to call it a fake championship. But look, regardless of whether they played 60 games or 162, every team in Major League Baseball that year had to go through the same amount of regular season games. And for those who qualified for the postseason, they had to go through the same rules and requirements that everyone else did that made it. It was a unique regular season. COVID shut it down. We all know that. It's still a world championship, whether you want to admit it or not. It's still a title. When the Dodgers won the World Series in 1981, the strike wiped out 54 games of the regular season that year. I don't hear anybody saying that's a Mickey Mouse championship. Now, granted, that's apples and oranges there, but still, it's the same premise. They didn't squeeze in a full season in 81, and everyone still considers that a genuine championship. But 2020, to me, Logan, needed to be validated because still, and the Dodgers proved it yet again, they can last through the length of a regular season, but when they get to October, they just don't have what it takes. They don't have that killer instinct. Yeah. Dave Roberts, and look, Dave Roberts is a good manager. I like Dave. I really do. That doesn't mean I can't be critical of him. He's a good manager, but he doesn't have that killer instinct of a manager. He's not like Bruce Bochy, where he can feel his relievers by looking at them rather than a fucking computer sheet that's spit out by a MacBook. All right? That's not how it's done. Dave,
Joshua.
Well, whatever it is, 2020 now is starting to look more like an asterisk in the history book rather than a unique and difficult world championship, which was undoubtedly the most difficult championship to attain in professional sports, probably in the history, at least of baseball.
That's really true. But let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about the Padres because they did win.
Whether
we like it or not.
Right.
I mean, in Game 4, I was just talking about the Padres fans really just turned me I was like, I'm a fan of the Padres right now because they were sitting out in the rain. They were screaming. They were singing all this shit. I mean, it was awesome. How do we feel about the Padres going into this next series? I mean, let's just talk about the NLCS right now. Phillies and Padres right now. The Phillies are winning, right?
Phillies are winning. Last time I saw 1-0. But as far as how I feel about the Padres going into this series, I think they have a very good chance of winning this series. Their pitching obviously locked down the Dodgers, the allegedly best offensive team in baseball heading into October. Yu Darvish was filthy, and he's been filthy again tonight. I like San Diego to win this. They're not going to sweep. They'll probably lose 1 or 2 games. Philadelphia is a heck of a ball club, and they play all 27 outs. But I like San Diego to win this thing, and that bullpen has given up 0 earned runs in the postseason. You know the old saying goes, it doesn't get any better than that. Gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than that.
Negative, though. We could do negative runs.
Yeah, we could do negative runs. That's right. Thanks for correcting me, man.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Just trying to be
Negative.
And look, just to prove to you guys that I'm not a complete ass when it comes to being a Dodgers fan. I give San Diego's bullpen credit. Those guys went out there and they took care of business. And I also feel real good for Bob Melvin because I think he showed in this series just how good of a manager he really is. When he was in Oakland, everybody chalked up their success to Billy Beane and Moneyball, and he never got the just credit that he deserved for being a good manager. He showed in this series how good of a manager he is because he outmanaged Dave Roberts' ass. While Dave was sitting on that comfortable, warm seat, just shooting the breeze there in San Diego, Melvin was actually doing what managers do, filling out lineup cards, looking at strategy, looking at numbers, looking at who's coming up in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. Doc sat there and did nothing. The computer's going to win the game for us. So credit to Bob Melvin, a heck of a manager, and I'm glad to see that he's finally getting a chance to get to that next level. I like San Diego to win this series.
Yeah, Bob Melvin, I can't say it enough. I love how he's just a mixture of he looks at the analytics, but he also trusts his gut, and I think that's the perfect manager in today's game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's it's really good whenever they look at all the information and just see how the eyeball test, as Josh says all the time. It's just it works out, and luckily he's got a team that's just not all. It's not all analytically there. It's got a team that's somewhat analytically there, but also, I mean, they got the Juan Soto and they got the Manny Machado and the Jake Cronenworth. So it works.
I kind of want them to win too because it would be a shot in the face at Tatis.
Yeah, right.
I was about to say, if the Padres somehow make a run and they win the World Series without Fernando Tatis, is that a guarantee that Tatis is off the team and he is out? And they're
not next year.
No, because Tatis still brings the butts in the seats. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, Logan, speaking of all those diehard loyal Padre fans you talked about in this series, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Padres ownership limited the sale of tickets to Dodgers fans. They specifically cut off sales to Southern California fans in the LA area codes so they could just deliberately get more Padres fans into the stadium.
That's what Green Bay did that's what the Brewers did when they played the Cubs. And I felt outdated talking about that. If you lived in Chicago or Illinois, you were not allowed to. Well, you were only allowed to buy 2 tickets. You weren't allowed to buy 6 or whatever. But
common nowadays, though.
But Dodgers fans could afford it, whereas Padres fans deserved it.
Right, and you know what? The Padres were allowed to do that. There's nothing illegal about. They have the right. They're a business. They have a right to refuse service to anyone. In that case, it just happened to be Dodgers fans. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just taking my World Series shot right now since all the rest of my postseason predictions went to hell in a handcart. I think we're going to have. I think we're going to have a rematch of the '98 World Series, San Diego and the Yankees. This time, San Diego emerges victorious.
I'll be all right with that.
Oh, Logan was just talking about the 09
really? You have
World
Yankees?
Series.
No, that was Josh.
Or
no,
Josh.
But you have the Yankees going to the World Series right now.
Yes, I do.
Really? Okay. Then going back to Houston tomorrow morning or tomorrow, it doesn't bother you?
They're probably leaving tonight.
Well, yeah, they're going tonight. They're playing, But,
I know that they had their struggles against the Guardians, but I think Houston poses some matchup problems for them, pitching wise especially. But I got to tell you, it's going to be fun watching Stanton and Judge go up against Yordan Alvarez, and it's either going to be a slugfest or it's going to be one of those 2-0, 3-0 type of series. But I think New York can take it. I really do.
I hope it's a slugfest, honestly. I would like to see a home run derby between Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, and Stanton and Judge, and Matt Carpenter, obviously, who's going to be the ALCS MVP.
Right.
Anyways, anybody else have any thoughts on the Padres and Phillies series before we move on to the next series?
All I'm going to say is I'm disappointed our boy Ryan ain't here. Of course, it makes sense he's not here. He's probably at home watching the game, ringing the fucking bell right now.
He was supposed to come on last night, I believe it was, and I got distracted with other things. So, that's my bad, everyone. I'm sorry yet again for canceling last night and the night before.
All right.
It's all good, you big daddy.
Shut up. Anyways. But Josh, what do you think about this Phillies-Padres series?
I think it goes 7. I think we see the Phillies 2 dominant pitchers, Nola and Wheeler twice. I think San Diego's got just a little bit more in the offensive tank in the long term. The longer the series goes, I think San Diego's got a better chance. Philly's really gonna need to stay hot. If they stay hot, I think they get it in 5 or 6. But if it goes 7, I think it's all San Diego.
Adam?
This Philly team's really played with my emotions here. I haven't picked them in any series, so why pick them now?
Yeah.
Even though they're probably going to go on. I mean, you got to feel good for one of the usual panelists here, and you got to feel good if Ryan gets his chance go to the next round.
This is what I'll say. I've been going against the Phillies this entire time.
Well, no
'Cause
shit, they played your team.
Yeah, they played the team, and I thought, oh, they limped in the playoffs. The Cardinals are going to run over them. It'll be fine. That didn't happen. They beat the Cardinals, but the Cardinals kind of suck. So so they're gonna get demolished by the Braves. Josh was about to get mad at me, but then he was like, "Ah, shit, he's right."
Oh, they sucked. They sucked so bad.
Anyways, and then they beat the Braves. This is what I will say: the Phillies. The Phillies scare me because obviously they have Wheeler and Nola. But after that, I mean, Ranger Suarez, Kirk Gibson, Noah Syndergaard, even they're not lights out. So I think the Padres take advantage of that. So I think the Padres are going to take it in 6, honestly. But I mean, I think this is going to be an actual slugfest. Just because this is, I mean, both teams are hot at the right time. Any other thoughts on this series before we go on? Okay, Jason just decided to leave. Whatever.
Probably hit the back button. Pay attention.
Probably.
I hope the Phillies win, but like I said, I haven't picked them at all, so I don't want to jinx them.
I'll be rooting for them. I forgot about this video of the Padres fan high-fiving a whole bunch of other Padres fans, and there's a Dodger fan. And I guess he had been talking shit to that Padres fan the entire time. And the Dodger fan turns around, the Padre fan just flips him off, and it's the greatest thing ever. I love it. But it is sad about the Dodgers. Let's move on. Yankees and Astros. Yankees playing tomorrow. How do we feel about this series?
These Yankees bats came alive.
They did.
They're getting hot.
I think it's going to be a good duel because of Houston pitching versus Bronx Bombers bats. I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm a big believer that pitching wins World Series and wins in the playoffs. But there's a lot of firepower in this New York lineup. So, I mean, this could be the exception to my general rule and belief system for playoff baseball. I'm hoping it's a good series. I don't think your worry, Logan, is going to the worry you have about the Yankees having to play tomorrow night, going down to Houston to play. I don't really think that's going to have an effect because now the Yankees are playing 2 days in a row. They had the 2 days off before. They should be good to go. What are you laughing about now?
So I just saw this. It's a headline.
Oh.
The Guardians learned their hotel was overbooked when they got back to last night, so they had to split up and go sleep at multiple different hotels.
Of course.
Oops.
I think that didn't happen.
Unfortunately, we know Jared Jones, so we're best buds with him. So sorry, Jared. I'm sure you were very popular with the guys right there. Jared Jones is the travel agent for the Guardians, director of traveling, I guess he's referred to.
I mean, really, that couldn't have been his fault. Like, nobody would have thought the game was going to get postponed twice.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
That never happens.
That is true. Adam, what do you think about this series?
Well, I can't turn into the evil empire, but I think they're gonna take it.
Really?
I do. Like I said, their bats are starting to wake up. They went through a little slump, had a couple days off by the MLB. I mean, rain. They gave their bullpen rest that was well needed. Shouldn't have been deserved. So yeah, and they're coming off of a big win today. They kind of got to take it in cruise control right after the Stanton home run today. So I think I mean, I hope it goes 7 just because of the entertainment value.
Yeah.
But now the weather's starting to play a factor. I mean, I had snow up here today.
Wait, hold on.
You seeing this?
Pass 36.fun says my hot photo here. Make sure you click on that.
So now we have nice pictures to look at, huh?
Yeah.
We've been infiltrated.
Yes. My Russian porn hub has finally come back to haunt me. Anyways,
Of course.
of course.
How do you understand the language?
Huh?
I'm kidding. I said, how do you understand the language?
2 nights with a Russian ballerina. She taught me a lot. Anyways.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Back to baseball.
Yeah, oh, wait, yeah,
Logan's playing baseball, all right.
We can go on to hockey.
No. Good God, no. Fuck hockey, honestly.
We could talk Dallas Cowboys.
Shut up. Anyways. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because one team has.
So does it cost $48 to see that picture? Is that what it says? My hot photo here, 48.
I hope so.
No, it means she's 48.
Ew. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The Bronx Bombers are going to have something going for them.
Kyle Schwarber just hit a 1-run shot. Phillies take a 2-0 lead in the top of the 6th.
Dang.
I think Philly's taking this series.
I may be wrong. Obviously, I've been discount. No, whatever. I haven't been rooting for the Phillies this entire postseason. So
I'm rooting for Ryan and the Beast thing, guys.
Ryan would be pissed at me if I said that the Phillies would win this series.
Right.
Why
pick them now? We haven't picked them all year.
Yeah. I don't know. The Yankees seem dangerous right now, especially with Judge seemingly becoming hot at the plate. I don't know what that was right there. Seaman and hot, and oh my gosh.
48 Russian picture.
Yeah, right. Anthony Rizzo needs to come alive. They need to stop playing IKF at shortstop, honestly. They need to put Oswald Cabrera at shortstop. He's better, honestly, offensively. I don't give a shit about defense, people. IKF sucks right now.
They had him in left field today.
IKF? Or Oswald?
They had Cabrera in left field.
Yeah, and they need to play Carpenter more, honestly. They get mad because he pinch hit. They have him pinch hitting, and then he doesn't hit anything, and it's like, well, no shit. He hasn't played in 3 months.
But who does hit?
Oh God, he gets 3 hits, and everyone wants to act like he's the greatest player of all time.
3 home runs, leads the AL in the postseason in home runs.
He's got to be tied with Stanton, right? Doesn't Stanton have 3 now?
Huh?
Doesn't Stanton have 3?
I think it's still 2. But Harrison Bader, that
was as of 4:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, this is Harrison Bader's not gonna. I don't know. I still maybe I'm bitter that he's playing better in the postseason than he has his entire career with the Cardinals or whatever. But anyways, I don't know. The Astros team is so scary though, but they didn't look that great.
But they
against
swept.
The Mariners. Yeah,
But
they did.
Swept.
But they didn't look that great against the Mariners. So
They also had a week bye too, though.
they did.
They could be filming.
I don't know. It's going to be weird. If the Yankees win, it's going to be a weird thing. If the Astros win, it's going to be like, oh, well, of course. You know what? I'm pulling for the Yankees. I like the Yankees, and I would like them to have revenge on the Astros after the 2017 thing, but whatever. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? I do have one news topic I want to cover real quick.
Maybe the Astros are going to win. I don't know. This is a coin flip. This series really is a coin flip.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
I just want to see good baseball.
Yeah.
If the
But
Yankees
like
are
I
gonna
said,
do it,
it's
they're gonna
already-
have to do it in 6.
What's
If
that?
the
What's
Yankees
that,
do it,
Josh?
If the Yankees are going to do it, they're going to have to do it in 6.
I mean, how many games are going to be postponed? We already had 2 games postponed.
Well, they're in New York. It is back half October.
Oh,
There could be a
And-
couple more games postponed.
And like I said, I had fucking snowflakes today.
did you?
In
It was 50 degrees here in Texas.
It was fucking 37 and snowing here today.
It was a low of 33. It was a low of 27 today and a high of 49 in Missouri.
Okay, so I have some not breaking news, but a news story that broke today. Shoheiotani trade rumors are circulating throughout the entire Major League Baseball.
Yep.
And then Shoheiotani, whenever he got back to Japan, he said, "I was very disappointed in this season, and I didn't like it," or something like that, something along those lines. Do you know the exact quote?
I don't know the exact quote, but I know that it pertained to he is not happy with the Los Angeles Angels organization,
Yeah.
and he is hinting the fact that he wants out.
Yeah. So I thought it was weird that there are trade rumors right now because he just signed a $30 million 1-year contract, which just buys out the last year of his arbitration. But still, that was interesting to me. So what do you guys think?
Do you guys feel more teams are going to be interested because he can't pitch and hit? And with the DH system, it's going to make it a lot easier to open that checkbook.
Every team's going to be interested.
Oh yeah, you're paying for 2 players. You're paying to get 2 players for 1. I mean, I would hope the Cardinals would jump all over this, and I would trade Dylan Carlson, and I would trade.
You would trade everybody.
Not every
No,
Jordan Walker.
not for a 1-year rental. Yeah,
No,
I would even say that.
I would trade Dylan Carlson for a 1-year rental because Otani would come to St. Louis and he'd fall in love with the Midwest.
Maybe.
I know he's not coming
I
to
hope so.
Pittsburgh. We don't have that kind of
hope
money.
Nope.
You know, real quick before we go deeper into the Shohei thing, you know that Shohei said that he wanted every team who was interested in him to write a letter, and that's how he was going to base his choice on.
I hear about that.
Yeah, and the Angels had a really interesting letter. As I can't even remember what it said, but I'm like, seriously, all the Cardinals had to do was write a fucking letter to Shohei Otani in order to get him. Anyways, that annoyed me.
That's the first I heard about the letter thing.
Yeah, I heard about it a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh fuck. Anyways, but yeah, that's gonna be interesting because all of a sudden he's the top trade top trade candidate.
So what's that do with Trout?
Well, I guess they're gonna have to keep him. I guess they really do. You
Do
think
they
they're
really-
gonna get rid of him?
Does Trout really want to stay?
There's ways. Does Trout want to stay 1, even though he's under contract? I mean, if I'm Trout, if Otani leaves and I'm Trout, I'm getting the hell out. I'm taking my first ticket out of there I can find that's halfway decent. And I'm getting my rear end out of there because with new ownership coming in, you don't know what the game plan is. Trout's wasted most of his career with injuries already. He doesn't have a ton of time left. I mean, yeah, he can still swing for another 10 years, but
He better. He's got 10 years left on his contract.
well, yeah, but with all these injuries, he may have to retire early just from it being so injury prone. If I'm him, I'm wanting to get out of there so I can go win a World Series, at least see the playoffs because he's seen the playoffs once in his career.
Yeah, once.
I mean, I'm begging for a trade. I'm trying everything I can to get out of there if I'm Trout, especially if Otani's gone, because I got nobody with me to help carry the load.
Well, I was saying that, I think that they would get rid of Trout before they get rid of Otani. But it seems like Otani is out the door right now. And so I don't know if I think if they got rid of Trout and Otani in this offseason, Angels fans are just going to be like, they're not going to be Angels fans anymore. They're going to be Dodger fans. They're going to be Giants fans. They're going to be
Maybe
Athletics
even go to
fans.
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
I don't afford that.
I'm just saying San Diego's a little closer than San Francisco.
I'm just saying they're going to just change their loyalties
Because I think the hatred would still be there for the LA.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, good Lord.
Or they just give up on baseball.
But it's not like the Angels could even rebuild anything because they have so much money. They can't get rid of Anthony Rendon. And so I don't know, because it's kind of a shit show right now. Because it seems like your top priority should be to keep Shoheiotani, but you don't know if Shoheiotani wants to be a Angel after this year. So
I mean, Shohei could just not come back to America. He could stay in Japan.
he'd come back. I think he likes the America. He likes American baseball more. I think he just doesn't like Angels baseball. I don't know. It's an interesting. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason if this is true. If all these rumors are true.
But no one's heard this from Otani out of his mouth.
Otani said it. He said it today. That's why it's a big
He's in
deal.
an interview in Japan.
Yeah. He didn't say specifically that he wanted to get traded, but he did say he was not happy with the LA Angels. So, I don't know what this means. Do you know what it means? Thoughts on Barry?
No. Barry Bonds?
No, Barry Bonds. We already have our thoughts on Barry Bonds.
My thought was Barry Bonds when I saw
player.
Barry Trotz, maybe.
Logan doesn't know who Barry
Larkin.
Trotz is.
Barry Larkin. That's who we're talking about, Logan, right now. Barry Larkin. Shortstop for the Reds, baby. With Sabo at third.
Last things to say before we head out, because I want to watch the rest of this Phillies game.
I got nothing.
Okay.
All I got is come join us on Thursday night. We're shooting for 8 o'clock for Blues Notes. If you're a hockey fan.
Wow. Hey.
Adam.
I hear you. I wonder, was that why Brandon was is that why Brandon was talking to me? He wants me to jump on or what?
I mean,
Brandon, if you're still watching, reach out. Let me know.
I think that's an open invitation. If you want to get in, just let us know.
Yeah, is it Blues only?
Oh, we're going to be talking Blues, but, I mean, we can always bring in somebody else to hear your thoughts.
You jumping in too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's moving over to the hockey side.
What happened to Steve?
Steve is dead to us.
Oh, really?
He dipped out a while back.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyways.
I'm sorry. I did not know that.
Adam, plug your show and your channel for us.
Driving to the Top Productions. We have Ice Talk 101 we were just talking about. Might be joining the show here on Thursday. First I heard of it, so let me know. Obviously talking sports with me. Gina has Rep in the Bay. I know Gina has a busy week this week, so her shows. I know we had the Niner recap last night. She's got a Warriors guy on tomorrow, one-on-one interview conversation, as I call them. I don't like. Do you guys like calling them interviews or conversations?
Conversations.
I like conversations better. It sounds better. I don't know, just me.
Depends. Like whenever I have a guest on for the first time, like it's an interview, honestly. Second time, I'm like, oh, I'll talk about the news with you, and it's more of a conversation. So
always try to keep a conversation. Sports Talking by the Lake. I imagine we're going to be going over this Cleveland year recap, some other stuff. We do have Mark Trumba coming on, the old PA announcer for the Indians.
Oh, I thought you said Mark Trumbo.
In their India. He was the PA and radio guy back in the early 90s when they went to the World Series. So that should be fun. And now that the Indians are done, we might be having another special guest on as well.
Nice.
That's all I got right now.
Nice. Go check him out. I've been on a couple of shows. Josh
Love
is
you,
gonna be
Logan.
yeah, I know you love me.
I know.
Josh is going to be on a couple episodes soon, I'm sure. Whenever
Yeah,
he
one day, Josh, you'll be over.
Whenever you give me an invite.
You know, we still got to do the 2010 to 2019 AL NL lineups.
I'm
This
still
should be
taking
interesting.
Pujols number one.
You can't.
No, you
You
can't.
can't.
It's
Already
2000s.
debuted.
He
He
debuted
had
in
the
2000s.
debut in that era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's a lot harder.
It's way harder than you think.
How dare you, Josh?
But
Kidding.
yeah, we'll be having that come up soon. Just because baseball is winding down, we'll work on that.
Yep. Josh, do you have any words of wisdom you want to say before we go?
It's another week. It's getting colder for those of us in the Midwest and the North and the East Coast, north part of the East Coast. Dress warmly, dress in layers. You can always take some off. You can't put more on once you leave the house.
Unless you get too hot, then take the skin off. Okay.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. It was fun.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on, man.
Live long, watch some damn baseball. Let's go Padres. Let's go Phillies.
Are you
Josh,
streaming it on here, or are you getting off
what?
the
No,
game so we can watch it? Not
I'm
on
getting
here.
off. I'm going.
He's getting
I
out
gotta
of here.
eat.
You
I'm
guys take care.
tired.
Have a great night.
Hit that sick.